You heard the child scream? Nobody screaming here, Russell. Maybe you heard your neighbor? I already warned my kids. I already warned my kids so that they will be quiet for this 1 hour. Okay, so we wait for the others first. Just now still got a lot of noise. So now, did you hear any noise anymore? No. Okay.
Quiet. Walker. Taking not notice a walker. I haven't done my practical yet.
Okay. Without any further ado, um, good morning, everybody. Before that, we need to record this meeting first, yeah. Hi, Bob.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, so we start lah kan?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for all of you for attending this talk today. Okay, so thank you, Miss Melissa, the lecturer from Tariusi Sabah, and all of the students from RSD, DFT, and DSF. Okay, so before we start our talk, um, I would like to tell a story. Okay, last 2 years and 3 years ago, when I was a programmer, okay, there's one day my ex-colleague lah, and that time he is my colleague lah. Okay, so there's one day, my colleague tell me, her name is Sam. Okay, she said to me that, hey Sue, I heard that our new colleague will joining us today. She said, and then she said again, I heard that he is high pay salary staff from KL. Okay, so I said, oh, is it? Oh, must be. He must be terror tu kan? I said. Okay, so my colleague last time, of course lah. Okay, so that story is actually the story of the speaker that we will have today, which is Bob Jalius. He is the senior software developer that is working at Software Q company. So this company is based in KL, and today he will be sharing to all of us here um, the experience of him becoming a software engineer for 13 years, and then he will be sharing his experience to all of us here, so that all of us here will have a picture on the nature of work for a software developer. Okay, so the future that most of you here will have, maybe will have later. Okay, so Mr. Bob Jalius, welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Sue,
Okay,
for the brief introduction. And yeah, can I share my screen?
okay, beta.
Yeah. I prepared some slides, so
Hi Bob, long time no see.
Yeah. Long time no see. Hi everyone. How are you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Bob.
Good morning,
Hello, Mr. Bob.
Miss Mansa. Hi.
Hi, morning, Miss Lee.
Morning, Sue and students.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Tell me if you can see my screen.
We can see.
Can you see
Yes,
my
we can
screen?
see. Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. A very good morning, everyone. I'm going to share about software development and briefly about my experience working in this industry for 13 years.
Okay, Mr.
And
Bob.
yeah, so our agenda for today is software development, my experience, the challenges that I'm facing for my entire career, the trend, in terms of technology trend, what are we looking for, and expectation towards new hire or maybe intern. And yeah, let me introduce myself again. My name is Bob Jalius. I'm from Keningau. I graduated from UITM, diploma and degree in computer science, both from a diploma in UITM Sarawak and degree in computer science in UITM Shah Alam. And currently I'm in Selangor, working for Software Q. Uh, okay, uh, you might came across this before. I am a
Yes.
programmer and I have no life. They even created a Facebook group for this one. So yeah, but this is not entirely true. It depends on how you think about it. And yeah, if you look at this, you see, for young people like all the students here, you have all the time, but money maybe if you're not a rich family, then maybe not so much money, but you have a lot of energy. And for
Yes.
normal adult, you maybe you have less time, especially for your family, but you have money, of course, and a little bit of energy. And if you are an old guy, you have all the time. I mean, when you pension, you have all the time, you have all money, but you don't have energy. But for programmer, you see, time, money, that's me actually, but not really. Okay.
I've been there before.
Yeah, I'm happy with my job. I can work remotely, especially during this pandemic. I can manage my own working hours. I can manage my own tasks. Yeah, because all of us in the company is a senior developer, so the boss just releases as long as we can finish our work. So yeah, why not work from anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, and I am grateful because I'm in this line of work. As you see, during this pandemic, everyone is affected. So yeah, and the coronavirus transmitted via human interaction. And programmer, since we can work from home, yeah. Okay. May I know from this group if is there anyone uh, working before? I mean the students or all don't have any working experience. Anyone?
Uh,
Maybe you can type. Okay. So okay, never worked before. Work in F&B. Okay. Maybe part time or maybe freelance. If you are talented, then you can be a freelance programmer. Okay. So let me share about software development. If you are, if you are, if you have planned to be a software programmer, then this might be useful to you. If not, then it might be useful also for common knowledge. Okay, what is software development? Software development is a process of designing, programming, documenting, testing, updating software components. And as your program leader told you just now, we've been in the same company previously, about 2016, right, Sue?
Um,
2016 to 2018.
yeah, I guess lah already lah. But I
Yeah,
know we've been a colleague for about maybe 1 year and a half, maybe, right?
yeah,
Am I
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, 1 year and a half. So I joined that company as a senior software developer, a software engineer, and Madam Sue is a programmer, right?
yeah,
Oh, okay. So yeah, so we are handling different things. So we work, but we are still in the same team.
yeah.
So software development is a process of designing. What are we going to design before we come up with a product? Of course, we have to design, right? So in the process of designing, software developer, I mean, the whole team is involved with this. Even if you go to any industry, I mean, in the industry also they practice this. In the process of designing a software, everyone in the team involved with this. So we come up with an idea how we can, I mean, especially from the software components, how they can talk to each other, how they can communicate to each other. So basically, yeah, that's what we are doing in the designing process. Because I believe that the students here, some of you might learn about software engineering, right? Software engineering, because I was informed that this group, not all freshie, right? Some of you maybe from uh, semester.
Some of them is diploma in software engineering. Some of
Mhm,
them are in their degree,
I
and
see,
then another is from diploma in information technology, if I'm not mistaken,
I
DFT.
see.
Mm.
So you might get familiar with this process, right? I mean, some of you, because you learn software engineering or maybe,
Mm.
yeah. So and once we design the software, then come with the development, which includes programming, documenting what we are programming. So and after that we go to testing, and after we deploy, we there might be some change requests to update the software. So that's the normal process for software development. And why do we need software development? As you can see, uh, there are a lot of demands for software in this digital era, right? So it is to meet specific needs or specific client or business, and also for continuous improvement. Uh, when we are facing this pandemic, uh, can you guess how long they come up with the software? I mean, the mobile app My Sejahtera.
No
Oh,
idea.
okay. For normal software development process, it might take about 1 or 2 years, and some maybe 6 months. But if I remember correctly, they come up with My Sejahtera within 2 weeks.
Oh,
And yeah, even all countries, because we have a discussion about this pandemic before, um, and they also have issue about data integrity or maybe privacy, because when we are developing something like this, we are collecting all kind of data, right? The personal data. So it's up to government to enforce whether we can do this or not. So they come up with this My Sejahtera within 2 weeks. How can they develop this app for 2 weeks? So this is why the process is really important, because when you can, when you have the design, I mean when you know what the requirements are, then you can develop fast. It's either you can delegate the task, I mean divide within developers. Let's say you have 10 developers and working at the same time, so you can finish fast. So and how do we develop, I mean in software development, what is the approaches? So if I believe that you have learned that there's a lot of method that we can use to develop systems, but from my previous experience, I mean most of them only use these two methodology, which the waterfall and agile. So are you familiar with this? Any of you, students or maybe lecturers? So I know in our previous company we use waterfall and some agile, but not really agile. It's a half cooked agile, I think.
Most of the time waterfall lah.
Yeah, waterfall. Okay. Okay, let me show you what is the difference. Okay, ever heard? Okay. Oops. Okay, let me tell you. Oh, goes to different page. Okay, this is a waterfall methodology, and this is agile methodology. So during our software development, these are the most common method that we are using in industry. So for waterfall, first we will collect requirement, the requirement like how they want the software to be. So then once we collect all the requirement, we will go to design phase, and this design phase will determine what we are going to develop. I mean the software components, how many components that we are going to develop. So after we finish with the development, then we will go to testing. And in this testing phase is uh, where we test the software. I mean the software tester will write a test script. So the testing will be based on the script. Let's say if we log in, it must go to home page. Let's say you log in and it goes to different page, then the test uh, failed. So that's the process. And after all testing completed, it will go to deployment, where we will deploy uh, to the client server. And for and go to maintenance. Usually, let's say for government project, most government project they will go to this waterfall method, because uh, what's important for them is the documentation. Uh, and for agile, it's a I mean okay, for waterfall, this entire process might take about 1 year, 2 years. This entire process of development, especially for government project. Yeah, I involved in a few project before with government, and yeah, the project took around 1 or 2 years, or maybe more. So for agile, they will go through the same process, not really the same, but first we have to collect requirement, and then we design, develop, and testing. Then we deploy and review. Do you see the difference? We have the review here. Review is actually to discuss. I mean to retrospective. to do the retrospective, whether this process here can be improved or not. So usually this, entire process of agile uh, can only take about 2 weeks. I mean, the sprint only 2 weeks. So it will repeat until the the software is completed. So every 2 week we have something to deliver. So unless this, compared to waterfall, we collect all requirement, then we deliver the software. I mean together. So we don't deliver by module. But for agile, we deliver by module. So let's say for this sprint, for these 2 weeks, we want to deliver a login page. So we just develop login page for 2 weeks and deliver. So the next component, let's say we want to deliver the dashboard UI. So we just develop dashboard UI, then we deliver. So the process take uh, the process took about 2 weeks per deliver. Okay, here is the software
Earlier you
programming
said
language that
Java,
available. I
Go,
mean,
Golang.
not all, but some of them I pick the one that I'm familiar with. So the one I'm using is C Sharp.net, and we have also Java, but all of the programming language here I'm not using. Uh, PHP, I involved with PHP development before, and we have Python, Ruby, C++. I believe that in in university you will learn this C++, right? Or maybe C. And JavaScript, this is a scripting language. There's nothing to do with Java, but the the style is almost the same. And now they have a lot of new language like Go, uh, Scala, Erlang, TypeScript, and this COBOL is an old programming language,
COBOL.
but they are still using until now, because especially the bank lah. And yeah, and the pay also very good because the it's really hard to find a developer with COBOL skill set. So yeah, because bank need this to for performance, because COBOL compared to other programming language, they don't have a fancy library. It's just like a low level language. So the instruction is direct to
Hardware.
processor without translating.
Yeah.
So as you go along with your study, I believe that you will learn in details about that. Okay.
I'm not sure
Um,
about COBOL.
yeah, programming, how they manage the memory. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Especially software engineer.
Mm.
COBOL.
Okay. Uh, what kind of software that we are going to develop? From my previous experience, I have developed uh, all of this type of software: console, Windows, web app, web API or services, and actually this web services is not direct to end user. By end user, I mean consumer, like like common people. This web API will be consumed by another developer or maybe another company to use their services, and mobile app and game. So, and nowadays game is the most popular, right? Okay, what is console? Anyone know what console is? Especially a student.
Console command line.
Okay. I'm not sure whether you encountered this before in ATM. Previously, our ATM use console app where, yeah, it's a terminal.
Terminal.
When you run a command prompt from your PC, that's a console program, and you can use simple instruction. That's all. I mean, yes or no, then you enter Y, then go to the next line. And for Windows, this is what we are using mostly, Windows app. And for web, I know you are familiar with it. We can access web through web browser and web API. Like I mentioned previously, it's mostly used by another company to let's say consume data, like your payment gateway. If you are using Shopee before, when you make your payment, it will redirect you to another page to go to your bank, right? That is actually a web API provided by the bank, let's say Maybank or any
Oh.
banks. And mobile app is what you are using in your phone. And game, yeah. And how do this company make money? I mean, from the software that they are developing, how can they make money? First is, of course, selling on-premise software like system. I believe that your university also I mean have their own system, LMS system, right? To to
LMS.
to register students.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have.
that is one kind of on-premise software, and maybe there are some other kind of software that uh, you can you can buy you can purchase by subscription. I mean LMS also, but you don't buy the system, but you use their services. Let's say you subscribe for 100 users, then you have to pay for 100 users either monthly or yearly. So that is by subscription. Or maybe some of the software companies selling services, like I said, the banks, every transaction that made to the e-commerce website, let's say Shopee or Lazada, they will charge the the company, I mean the Lazada or Shopee, let's say maybe 1 ringgit per transaction or 1 cent per transaction, I don't know. And also advertisement. Let's say you created blogs, then you can put Google AdSense to earn money. Let's say you have a lot of viewers, then you can gain a lot of money if they click the ads. And also a company like e-commerce, Shopee, Lazada, you know how they make money. It's by transaction. Let's say people are selling the item through this e-commerce platform, then of course they can get their uh, percentage also. So that's how they make money. So okay, what is the theme in software development? This is I'm not sure whether this is the same with what we learn in university, but in industry, this is the common theme that exists in software development team. We have a project manager. This project manager will lead all the team members, architect, lead developer, business analyst, developer. We have testers, implementation analysts, and DevOps. And this DevOps terms is new, but there's a lot of demands for this position. I mean, for DevOps. I will tell you the difference. So uh, you might familiar with manager. It will manage all the teams here. So usually project manager will report to their report to their boss, to management about the current project. So, and also manage this team. So architect usually in charge about the design of the software. Let's say we want we want to create a e-commerce platform. How can our e-commerce talk to banks? How can e-commerce talk to vendor? So all this design will will be handled by architect or team lead, and this team lead will lead all the business analysts. Business analyst is the one who collect requirement from clients. Developer is the one who do the programming, and testers who do the testing. It's either manual testing or they can write the code to do their testing. And implementation analyst is when we want to deploy the system. This implementation analyst will go to the client side to handle the user acceptance test. I mean, uh, especially for government project, before we want to release the software, we will get their uh, signing uh,
Yeah,
to yeah. So if they if they sign means they agree to deploy the system. So this DevOps uh, nowadays I mean with the emerging of cloud computing, we need this DevOps to manage our servers in the cloud. Yeah. So DevOps is actually developer plus operation. So last time we have like what they call it IT department who manage the network, servers, the installation and everything, right? But now they change it to DevOps, and this DevOps will handle that. So if you are in IT, then you can look for DevOps because there's a lot of demands now, and the pay also is really good, comparable to yeah to others. I mean, yeah, now because they are switching towards DevOps. Even DevOps also provide. I mean, they can do programming. That's why there's a lot of demand for DevOps, programming plus managing servers. Okay, since I'm a software developer, so I'm going to share about uh, software developer. If you are interested in other position, then you can look for that. And what do we do as a software developer? Mostly we analyze users' need, then design. Like I mentioned previously, developer also involved in the design. So, and we develop the software based on the requirement that prepared by business analysts. And also, we recommend software upgrades for customers. And usually we don't talk directly to customers. We talk to our either business analyst or project manager, then they will propose to customer and design each piece of application or system, and how this application can work together. So another thing is to ensure that a program continues to function normally. This is especially during maintenance. I believe that Madam Su have a lot of experience about software maintenance.
yes, of course.
And yeah, to document every aspect, but this actually doesn't apply with agile. But for waterfall methodology, software developer will involve in documentation. But agile, uh, there's it's not like there's no documentation, but less documentation. It based on user story. I mean, the user story is like I mean, for requirement, it more detailed, like how we are going to do our software. But for agile, it will give you story like as okay, this is the kind of story. As a manager, I want to update students information. Okay, then the developer will go to planning and plan how to do that. That is story. And developer also collaborate with other computer specialists to create optimum software. And in software development, performance is really important. Let's say uh, if you browse to Lazada and it take a long time to load, of course you are not going to use their product, right? You switch to Shopee because Shopee perform better. So they lose their customer. So that's why performance is really important. So even now, uh, until now, we really emphasize on software performance. I mean, especially when we are developing web application, the response time is really important. Okay, what type of software developer? Software developer consists of front end, back end, full stack, DevOps, and architect. So full stack is actually front end plus back end. And front end and front end is the UI. If you are familiar with HTML, then that is one kind of that is the basic front end. Uh, Now they have a lot of UI framework like Angular, if you heard of it. Angular, Bootstrap, that is a front end framework. For back end is what we are calling programming. I mean, the one I'm doing, C Sharp. So that is back end. Maybe I can show you later. I mean, after we done with this session, I can show you a little bit of demo of what I did for this. And full stack is both of these. DevOps, like I explained before, it's it can be either front end or back end, plus server management in the cloud. And architect is the one who designed the software. But this, yeah, I can say that this is me. I'm a full stack, not full stack. I'm not a front end, back end. I just pull things from internet and put it in my code. I think most developer do this. Okay. Um, what is the levels of software developer? Okay, you we can have intern. Then after intern, maybe it will be absorbed to junior developer, or then it can be promoted to developer, then senior. After senior, then lead and manager, or maybe architect. Architect maybe uh, between lead and manager, because architect doesn't manage people, it only handle the the design. But most architect now multitasking, so they can also manage people. So yeah, maybe I believe that almost all universities encourage their student to go for intern, right? And our company also hire intern. I believe that if I'm not mistaken, the pay is about 1,000. But you have to come to office in KL. And yeah, if you are good, then they will absorb you to be a developer. So for developer, the pay also is quite good. So yeah, this is the career path for developer. Then you can look into. Okay. Um, Now I'm going to talk about my experience. I work in 8 different companies for 13 years,
Wow.
and one of the company I work with Madam Sue.
Mhm.
Yeah, actually I work in KL for 5 years. Then I mean after graduated from UITM in 2008, I work in KL for 5 years. Then go back to Sabah um, for another 5 years. Then go back again to KL in 2018. Okay, like Madam Sue mentioned before that her colleague, I mean her high pay colleague will come to the company, right? It's not entirely true.
True,
Okay, I
ah.
will no lah. I will tell you why. Okay, I work in KL for 5 years, and when I go back to Sabah, uh, my pay cut is almost 2,000.
Why?
I
Kan,
mean,
kan?
you can see the difference. The pay cut. I mean, when I go back to Sabah, the offer that I'm getting is uh, a lot. I mean, they a lot more lesser than what I get in KL. I mean, you can see the difference between uh, Sabah and KL offer. It's
Mhm.
doesn't make sense. So when I joined to to the company, I mean when I go back to Sabah, because I want to settle down in Sabah, but looks like my 5 years in Sabah, um, I mean there's not a lot of project in Sabah. They send us, especially software engineer, except Sue, they send us to Penang for 1 month, right?
Yeah, one
Yeah,
month
we have a
rotating.
rotation. So when they send me to Penang for 1 month, how about my wife? Because my wife cannot drive, so I have to send her to work. So it's really difficult for me. So that's why I decided to if they send me to KL to Penang, why not I work in KL? At least I can spend spend most of my time with my family, right? So yeah, so that's one of the reason why I decided to resign from previous company
To resign.
in Sabah
To
and
resign.
come to KL. So
Great.
and I work in local and multinational corporation MNC and various range of domain like government, uh, halal. You know halal in Brunei. In Malaysia also they have this halal you need to apply, right? If you open a restaurant with, I mean, serving halal food, you have to apply for certification. That is the kind of system that I did previously. I've been to insurance company, construction, oil and gas, facilities management, gaming. Okay, this gaming company uh, is actually my previous company in Sabah. They I mean they want to develop game based on uh, Kadazan Dusun story. You know Hominodun. They want to develop a game. I mean this group of creative people from US and Korea. They they create a company to develop game based on Sabah story. So my ex boss see that this game is an opportunity. So he bought the company. That's why we can develop game. But unfortunately, the game is not released. It's not even half of. I mean, halfway development. The boss suddenly stopped development and closed the company. So no game. We are actually targeted for PS4, but yeah, see, anything
Oh,
can happen. Yeah, the company closed down, so no more.
mm,
and all the developers in the company got retrenched. I mean, immediate notice. So luckily, I know about programming, so I still can go to another company which doing software development. So I'm really get grateful that I'm in this line. Okay, what are my accomplishment? It's not much. It's not really big, but this is the kind of system that I've done before. Production when I graduated from UITM, I involved with this production planning system using Visual Basic. It's just a simple system to forecast how much they are going to develop this product based on previous demand, previous order. So yeah, and somewhere in 2009 until 2012, uh, web toolkit generator and Jeff pension system. So I know a little bit about how they pay the pension.
Mm,
And this architecture web toolkit generator is to generate the code in Jeff pension system. I mean to shorten the development, because if we develop from scratch, we need to type a lot of things. So we just generate based on the database that we created, then we can run the system.
Generate a code.
So in 2013, insurance policy when I was in Manulife, but Manulife closed down in Malaysia somewhere in 2016. Okay. So there's no more IT department for Manulife insurance. And 2014 until 2016, SMPKE system for Prime Minister Office, and also Brunei Halal system. And when I was in GameLight together with Madam Sue, I developed KDCA portal and JKSB dashboard. This JKSB is Jambatan Kedua Sendirian Berhad. This is the longest bridge uh, in Penang. And 2018 until 2019, Sitecore Marketing Automation. This is Sitecore is a CMS product. So and 2019 until 2020, Spark Plus. This is to handle the maintenance in the building, especially building for hypermarket like Giant and and yeah. But this team actually we are working with Australian, and we are developing for Australia hypermarket like Coles and Target. So during my entire experience, I found that yeah, programming is 30% coding and 70% debugging. You know, debugging when you run the code and you detect whether the code is working or not.
mm,
You run this a lot when you are doing programming.
yes.
Sometimes a simple character like commas or everything, if you forgot, then you will get in trouble.
Mm,
And you see, after a few failures, then you get one successful try, then yeah, I'm still worthy. And you know what? The most frustrating when you are doing programming is, okay, let's say you write a lot of code and suddenly it's not responding. When you run, it's not responding, and the IDE stand for Integrated Development Environment, the software that we are using to develop a system, is not responding. Then all all your work gone, because you have to close the program. But now Visual Studio, they provide autosave. When you run the program, it will save before it run. So it's
good.
quite useful features. And this to answer what Madam Su told previously about high paying going to join the company, right? Not really. Uh, You see, my experience is like this, and usually when the job recruiter publish job vacancy, they are asking for everything, and the salary that they give is, yeah, it's not as good as. Okay, but why we still want to work as a software developer? It's I mean, why you still want to join the company? Because you see, some of them provide opportunity like learning, exposure, advancement. When I was in that company, I learned a lot. I mean, every company that I went to, I learned a lot about business domain, about software development in general, everything on how we talk to people. I mean, teammate or yeah, and like any other job, software development is not easy. And what you see is not really easy. I mean, the development team go through a lot before they can release a software. So, yeah. So, what are the challenges for software developer? Software
Stability.
developer, we have to equip ourselves with a new technology because technology move really fast. So we have to keep up to latest technology. And next is user requirement. When dealing with users, they want if can they want one button click and do everything, which almost impossible, right?
Mm,
So
yes.
we have to deal with this kind of client, and yeah, and also the challenge is users itself. Okay, I can share one experience with my encounter before during my tenure in SMPKE, working for Prime Minister office. So when people are working with uh, Prime Minister office, it's like they are the king. They can order you everything. They can talk everything they want. Kena maki, kena everything lah. Memang makan habis lah. So yeah, so they feel like they own you. My Until my previous project manager, you know, this project manager cannot hold anymore, and he said that I mean, I think he recite one Quran phrase. He recite one Quran, and he said, "I won't forgive you." Until that extent. So what the pain that this project manager gone through, what kind of humiliation maybe, but not all
Client.
government, yeah, not all client like that. Some of them, yes, you might face maybe much more terrible than that. So who knows? But it's up to us how we can handle this kind of client. I mean, we can be diplomatic, but you know how diplomatic you can be if the client is really, uh, I mean, don't want to accept any explanation or anything. So yeah, and also project timeline. You see, if you are a client, of course you want software fast, right? Because you don't know the process. But for software development, there's a lot of process that we need to follow. So it's not like we want now and we can do it tomorrow. I'm not sure what process they're going through to develop my Sejahtera for only 2 weeks, but yeah. Uh, and another challenge is, yeah, bosku. Your boss everywhere. Maybe it depends on your boss. Some of them just boss rather than a leader. So you can see the difference between boss and a leader. So a leader will uh,
Will
tell
guide you.
you, yeah, will tell you what to do and instruct you how to do it maybe. But the boss just, okay, I want it now. I don't care what you do, blah 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 blah. I want it now. That's kind of boss that really challenging. And also your teammate and how to communicate with your teammate, and maybe if if you encounter someone like to, if you heard the term tai chi, tai chi, when some task is assigned to, let's say, to him, then he tai chi to you. Oh, this is good for Bob. This is Bob. This is Sue. This is Sue. Okay, that is tai chi. But and when they find some mistake, okay, this is Sue. This is Bob. That is tai chi. You will encounter a lot of them, no matter where you go. So and yeah, of course the most challenging is ourselves, myself. I feel that myself. How do I keep motivated with my work? Uh, you see, I face a lot of down. Uh, let's say you work really hard and you perform better, but someone else get promotion, and you know the your teammate is not good. Most of the work uh, done by you, and he or she got promoted, or maybe have better salary than you. Of course you will feel down, right? And I think for me this is the most challenging so far. When I don't know, because salary is confidential. You are not
Mm,
allowed to know your friend's salary, and you cannot tell your salary how much, because it will, yeah, it will get you demotivated. For
mm.
me, how I motivate myself is, so far I go to different company.
Oh.
Yeah, because if you feel demotivated, how can you work with the company, right? So there's nothing. Then you start to look for another job, blah 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 blah. Then you left. But that's not the only reason, lah. If let's say the company is good, let's say they provide you with uh, learning, or maybe activities that you like, then I will consider to stay, because money is not everything.
I see.
Okay, what what is the trend? And now you can find that e-commerce is, I mean, have a lot of demand, uh, data driven, machine learning and automated. Okay, we are moving towards this kind of uh, industry now. If you can see that there's a lot of demand for data analysts, and data scientists, you can go look for that, because the pay is really good. For us, maybe it's too late. We cannot go for that anymore. But for you guys, you can look for this. Yeah, because this is our future.
Mm,
And let me go fast because 11:30. So for me personally, I mean, the expectation for, let's say, if you are intern trying to join our company, for me personally, I will look for good behavior. How good is good? Is not bad. Cannot tell. I mean, we will know during our interview. And maybe fast learner. If you're a fast learner, then you can try. How fast is fast? Uh, yeah, it still depends, because we are uh, I don't know how fast is fast. It's, it also depend. Depend. an empty cup. You don't come to interview like you know everything, right? If you are fresh grad. So of course, if you know you don't have any experience, so you don't really know. We don't really know. Even me, if I go to interview with another company, I still don't know what they are doing. So yeah, but we are willing to learn. And some are expecting good grade, but for me, no. I'm not expecting a good grade if I'm looking for intern. But of course, you need to know basic about programming. Uh, okay, why do we need good grade? You see here, I need a job. I can hire you without experience, but I need a job to get experience. Then work. Give me a job. Okay, now most people looking for experience, but if you are fresh grad, they understand. So provided that your grade is good, then you will have higher chance to get hired. Unless you are Tan Sri son or daughter. You know this? If you are watching Malay drama, tak kisah berapa A pun kamu dapat, papa nak esok, kamu ambil alih syarikat papa. If you are son or maybe daughter of a holding company, so yeah, there's no problem for you. And how to become software developer? First, you can prepare your resume. You can you can find good references from Google how to write a resume for fresh grad, and find a good company that look for more information and Google review. For you can also go to job vacancy portal like JobStreet, Sabah Jobs, etc. And now we have a social professional social media, professional network like LinkedIn. You can try there. And I got my current job through LinkedIn because they post the job there. But if I'm not mistaken, Facebook also have job advertisement, right? So you can look through that. And how to do your resume? Okay, if you can see these three resume here, which one is most interesting?
And
Of course, with color, right? The right one. Yeah, you can do something like this, but don't just. I mean, don't put too much color. You can put something like in the middle also fine. And if you have a strong skill, then you can do like the left one. But for fresh grad, I think all you can do is to make your resume look nice. Of course, your CGPA also matter lah. Like CGPA during interview, they will assess your communication skills and critical thinking. This is important for fresh grad. Uh, critical thinking is ability to think clearly and rationally. So if they ask you, uh, you can answer them what they ask, and maybe be diplomatic. If you don't know, don't say like I don't know. If you go to interview, if they ask you and you don't know, don't simply answer I don't know. Maybe you can uh, maybe I never learned that, or maybe I don't have any experience with that, but I'm willing to learn that. Maybe that's all you can answer.
mm,
And yeah, before finish, unless you are Tan Sri son or daughter, then yeah, we have to work hard to get what we want. So I wish you all the best, and thank you very much. Thank you. Do you,
okay, thank you,
do-
Bob, for the
thank
wonderful
you.
sharing.
Do you have any question?
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Ah, there's a questions from Miss Melissa.
Hmm.
Some students might have a fear of coding Any sharing advice on how to overcome this? Okay. I've been in this industry for 13 years, and uh, the fear. I mean, I still have the fear to learn new things because I only good at C sharp. Only one programming language I'm good at. So when we have a request to develop something with a new programming language, it's uh, for me, I will look for information because we can look for uh, information in Google, YouTube to learn uh, how we can do the programming. In YouTube, they have a lot of tutorial that we can look for. I also refer to YouTube,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
maybe you can look for your friend who knows about this programming. Your yeah. So uh, the fear of coding. Okay, let me tell you the basic of coding. All you have to know is how they do the loop, if else, and yeah, if you are good at logic, then you can do programming. So and practice make perfect. What consequences for failing project? Okay, in industry, if you fail to complete a project, of course you have to pay for compensation,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's all. Money, that's the consequences. You lose money, and maybe you have to pay them again. So yeah,
Maybe we will also lose our job, right?
yeah. Also lose our job. The team, yeah. You see, during this pandemic, there's a lot of company closed down due to no project. So if the
Mm,
project is failing and you have to pay them the penalty, then the consequences can be really, really
worse.
bad. Yeah.
Mm. Okay, so I have question actually because I think the new thing that I heard from your sharing kan is the DevOps. I
Oh,
think
DevOps.
in our previous
Mm,
company kan, we don't have this position kan. Okay,
yeah.
so is there any special skills actually required to be a DevOps?
Um, for me personally, you have to uh to be good with configuration. I mean, people with IT skills. IT means people who can configure network and everything. I mean,
Mm,
configure and install server. They plus programming. Yeah, surely they know about this DevOps. Yeah,
oh,
because nowadays they move to special area, right? If you do programming, then just programming. If you do network, just network. But DevOps combine these two.
oh, okay, okay. So, is there any questions, guys and girls? Yeah. Sorry. Before we end, before we end our session, I would like you guys to answer the questions that I posted in our chat for those who just joined, because I saw that there's a few that just joined. Yeah, you can answer that question first. So while we are waiting for the student to answer these questions, you guys can ask Mr. Bob what else? Any other questions?
Do you ever encountered bottleneck in your career? How to overcome? Um, by Yifeng Li. Huh? What do you mean by bottleneck?
Sometime when doing programming, like just mentioned by Mr. Pop just now,
Mm-hmm.
30% on what's it, programming, 70% debugging. Uh,
Oh,
couldn't find the solution.
okay. Yeah, it's a good question. Actually, when we are doing programming, not everything we can get from internet. So, uh, what do I usually do when I encounter this situation? I will uh, look for my I mean, before I look for my seniors or maybe someone with more skills, I will try all in different ways or different perspective. Let's say if we do this, we cannot go through that situation, then we have to try another way. So sometimes it works, sometimes not. So all we can do is to reach out to our team and have a discussion, maybe if they know about the solution. If yeah, so it's either taking a lot of time or maybe someone know encountered this before, they can share, but eventually everything can be solved when it comes to programming. It either we have to sacrifice, let's say, performance. There's no other choice. We have to sacrifice performance if we want to go through this. Then, yeah. Am I answering your question? Okay.
Okay, so okay, there's another question from Noel.
What would it be like working during internship? Okay. In our company, we have a few internship student, and uh, we expose them with programming, uh, either back end or front end, which one they are interested. So we will teach them how to do this, and we will assign them simple tasks. That's all. So if they cannot proceed, then of course there are a lot of seniors that can, I mean, they can get help from. Yeah, during internship, they will be exposed with uh, real development, real development. Just that there's no KPI for them. There's no KPI, but of course there are some form that need to be filled, right? So if the student give their full cooperation, then they will they will get a good marking from the supervisor.
I see.
Yes, do you
Yeah,
guys
thank
have
you.
any other questions? I will check the response so far.
I see.
Now it is 24. So we have about 8 students who still didn't answer the questions. Um, okay. Okay, so do you guys have any questions? Any more questions? I can see that all Bob sharing is very useful shares. You from his sharing, we know that what is the expectations, and then the expectation for the fresh grad, so you can prepare yourself to go to industry after this. Okay, so after that, the trend. Okay, so Bob has mentioned about the trend for nowadays. The current trend is in software developer, which is the e-commerce, the data-driven, and then machine learning and AI and automated. So even though maybe some of these we didn't cover in our program in
Mm,
university, you all can start searching about it because this is our future. I mean, the future technology that all of us in this industry will face later. So don't fully depends on whatever courses that is teach in university, because what the courses that we teach in university is the basic. So it is
yeah,
depends on you on how you will expand your knowledge. Okay, so start looking for these informations if you have time later. So that's why I mean That information you can use later when you when you go for interview in your future career later. So if the company required you to have this knowledge, then you can say that even though you don't have experience in that field, but you have read and then you have research about it, and then you know about it. So it is your time. It is just your time to implement it in their company if they accept you. Okay, so that is what you can do. Um, that yeah, before we what we you go for any or future career after this. Okay. So is there any questions, guys and girls? Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, 29. 29 respondents. Okay, so um actually what I meant with the high pay salary staff Bob just now, it is not it is not in our company previously. Although your salary of course is higher than me lah in the previous company, but you are a high pay salary guy because you come from KL kan. So in KL your salary is higher than Sabah. So that's why our colleague last time, Sam, you know Sam.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why she said that you are high pay salary. Okay, so the conclusion that I have gotten from your talk is
Mm-hmm.
um, you said just now that when you are down with the current company, the one way you do is you move to another company, right?
Yeah. If cannot be solved, then I move to. That's the only way.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So guys and girls here, you know that you know what? You cannot just move to any company that you want if you don't have skills. Okay. So you need to have skills to be moved around in this industry. Okay. So Bob can do that because he is high skills programmer, software engineer. So you have to be like him to be able to survive. Okay. So we need to update our knowledge with the current technology. Okay. So high pay salary staff is not cannot be offered to anybody. Okay, you must equip yourself with a high skill technology also. Okay, so it also doesn't come with your cert. Even though the CGPA also matter, and then your either your degree and diploma also matter when you are accepted to a company, but it is only the preliminary filtering actually. Okay, so either you are high pay or low, it is depending on your performance in your company later.
Mhm.
Okay, in our experience kan Bob,
Yeah.
we can see that there's a lot of I mean, even though the student or the staff is only have a diploma, it or she or he can have a higher salary
Mm-hmm.
than the person or the staff that have a degree. It is
Yeah.
because of their performance.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
Okay, so don't be so demotivated like Bob shared just now lah. We are if we are future programmer, don't have no life. Meaning, I mean, enjoy your life because you know that we have as a software developer or as a person in the computer industry, we have the advantage which is we which is this knowledge is on demand on today's world. So you can even during this pandemic, most of the software developers still have the job. So that is one of the advantages that we will have in when we are in this industry.
Mhm.
Okay, so I will check the response so far? Okay, so 30. Okay, okay. So I can see that all of you are already answer. So thank you, Bob, for your willingness to share your experience. It's a very good sharing. Okay, so I hope all of us here can benefit with this sharing. And then, yeah, on behalf of TAR UC, we are very appreciate your effort lah, Bob. Okay,
My pleasure.
okay. Thank you all. Then we can dismiss our sessions now.
Okay, thank
Bye.
you everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Melissa.
Thank you, Sue and Mr. Pop.
All
Yeah,
right,
please.
Okay,
thank you.
bye.
Thank you everyone.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.